Hey, welcome. We've all been there, right? That feeling of staring at a new word in a different language, just trying to make it yours. Well, today, we're going to dive into this really cool method that literally takes those words right off the page and brings them to life. I mean, think about it. You can spend hours with flashcards, right? Fill out tons of worksheets. But how do you actually cross that bridge from just knowing a word to, using it confidently when you're actually talking to someone? Yeah, how do you build real fluency? That's the big question, isn't it? So, yeah, the real challenge with any language is getting past that rote memorization. It's about it's about getting the words into your muscle memory. You've got to feel their rhythm, their emotion, make them sound natural when they come out of your mouth. And honestly, a lot of the traditional methods kind of fall short here. But there's a fantastic solution. And that solution, it's called reader's theater. It is such a fun, powerful method. It mixes reading, speaking, and even a little bit of performance to make learning a language way more effective. Okay, so what is it exactly? Well, at its heart, reader's theater, you'll hear it called RT for short, is basically an oral performance. A group of people will take some text, turn it into a script with different parts for everyone, and then they perform it for an audience. And the best part? You don't need any fancy costumes or big sets. All you need is your voice. And this picture just nails the whole idea. If you forget the fancy definition, just remember this one thing. Reader's theater is group storytelling. That's it. It's all about people working together to tell a story, which, let's be honest, is one of the most basic human things we do. So, what's the secret sauce here? What makes this work so well? Let's dig into why this kind of practice is just so powerful. Okay, so this really breaks down the magic of it. First off, it's a social activity, and it's fun. That right there keeps you motivated. Then you've got the script. Think of it like scaffolding on a building. It's a support system. It gives you the words so you can stop worrying about what to say and start focusing on how to say it. It also pushes you to do what we call meaningful repetition. See, you're not just mindlessly drilling words. No, you're practicing them in a real context, one that actually has meaning. And all of this works together to build that internal reader's voice, that confidence, and it strengthens both your speaking and your reading fluency at the same time. I love this quote from the old Roman educator Quintilian. It just perfectly captures the whole point. He said, "You shouldn't just aim to be understood, you should aim to be impossible to misunderstand." And that's exactly what Reader's Theater does. That focused practice, repeating lines over and over to get the emotion and the pronunciation just right. It's all about creating that crystal clear clarity. Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do you actually do it, right? How do you go from a plain old page of text to a performance that grabs people? Well, it's probably a lot simpler than you're thinking. It really just boils down to these 4 steps. Step 1, choose a text. It can be anything, a kid's story, a powerful poem, whatever you like. Step 2, create the script. This just means you adapt the text, you break up the dialogue and narration for different people to read. Step 3, practice and prepare. Honestly, this is where the magic happens, when you and your group are rehearsing. And finally, step 4, perform. You present it to an audience, and that can be anyone, classmates, friends, heck, even a virtual audience online. And I absolutely love this, because it shows you just how versatile this whole technique is. Look, on the one hand, you've got young kids in a classroom. Maybe they're wearing some simple masks. And on the other, you've got adults in a much more formal setting. So this really drives home the point. This is not just for kids. It's an incredibly powerful tool for learners of any age. So, as we start to wrap this up, I want to bring it back to what might be the most important part of Reader's Theater. It's something that goes way beyond just language. It's really about human connection. And you can just feel that connection when you look at these pictures, can't you? This isn't just a bunch of people standing around reading from a piece of paper. No, it's a team that's creating something together, sharing an experience not just with each other, but with their audience too. So when you get right down to it, Reader's Theater just works on so many different levels. It builds your fluency because the practice has real meaning. It builds connection because you're working together. And maybe most important of all, it builds your confidence. Think about it. The script is like your safety net. It lets you take risks to really play with the language and to truly own the words that you're speaking. And that leaves us with just one final thought. So for a second, just forget about all the grammar drills and the worksheets and just imagine the possibilities. If you could choose any story or any poem, any piece of writing that you absolutely love, What stories would you bring to life?